What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Zephyr Digimon and I'm here to bring to you my U-Trek Galaxy deck that I took, well, the Galaxy deck that I took to the U-Trek, these like Nationals, I believe, correct me on that, but yes, the big event that happened in Utrecht, Netherlands, just this past weekend. I went with a bunch of mates and we had a huge blast. Like, it was a great event. You know, one of my friends even took like top 32, so big congrats to Joe there on that. But and I'll hopefully try to get that deck profile here on the channel, whether I record it or he records it, but we'll get that profile on here at some point down the line. But yes, I took Galaxy Mirage, Galaxy Hexe, Mirage, whatever you want to call it, just Galaxy. I'm just going to call it nice and short, sweet. I took Galaxy to the event. It's been the deck that I've been playing more repetitively lately. So like, to me, like, the combos are in my head and I'm kind of like confident and I'm comfortable with the deck. So I took it on that note, as well as I just thought like it had the resources to try and overcome like a lot of the matchups currently. You know, with Mirage being as strong as it is, Hexe again also being as strong as he is, and just like how consistent you can climb up your lines with the Galaxy engine, I just felt like it was just a strong choice to take to the event. I got like 260th, something like that, out of like 700 or so. So I did pretty well for what it is. I got 4 wins, 3 draws, and 3 losses. Unfortunately, the deck just like has some flumped consistency issues and breaking issues on the last two rounds, which is a bit of a unfortunate error, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm here we'll get through the profile. Explain the reasonings behind each card, so if anyone who's new to the Galaxy engine can understand like why is this engine so popular. Yeah, and we'll go from there. So if you like this, give us a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Ding that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future Digimon content. So let's get into the Galaxy deck. Starting off with the rookie, the baby, we have obviously Sunmon. Sunmon is the Galaxy egg that everyone plays. Some people in a more blue base focused build do go with the Bukamon egg, which I have here. They tend to go for this one because they're most likely abusing, they aim to abuse the Honkumon in the level 5 section to start spitting out stuff from your sources, and Pokemon rewards you that with an extra memory. Essentially, you're evolving for 2 memory, which is very nice here. But we use Sunmon. So Sunmon is that if you take the top card from your stack and put it underneath, via an effect, you're allowed to evolve into a Digimon in your hand for 1 less memory. Very strong, considering the entire point of the Galaxy engine is to take your top card of a Light Fang or Nightclaw trait Digimon, putting it underneath, then you can evolve into the next thing for either reduced cost or in some cases free. So we use Sunmon for that nature. For the rookies, we're playing 4 each of the Lunamon and Coronamon. And then for the last of the rookies, we're playing 3 copies of Ukamon. So Lunamon and Coronamon essentially do the same thing for the inherit, where you can take the top card of your stack, that is either a Light Fang or Nightclaw trait. You can tuck it underneath this Digimon as its bottom evolution source, and then you gain 2 memory. Very powerful ability. You can do that once per turn, allowing you to essentially regain the memory that you use for your for the Evo you just done, or in some cases the Evo you done on a previous turn, and allowing you to then customize your stack to fit the situation that you are in that moment. Lunamon though has a starter main effect where it can, by returning a Digimon on your field to the hand, you can gain 2 memory. Sometimes in like certain matchups with like black hybrid or things of that nature, where like they've taunted one of my Digimon, I've actually used Lunamon's ability to bounce that Digimon to my hand to gain 2 memory, so they can't force me to swing, which then means they can't trigger their blast evolutions when they want to. But most of the times I'm using it to bounce the Ukamon that I have on my field. So I like promote the Luna, trigger the Uka to get my searches, and then I'll use the Lunamon to bounce the Ukamon to my hand, essentially getting a free promote with extra. So it's very, very, very good for the resources there. Coronamon's starter main is that if you have a tamer with a Light Fang or Nightclaw trait, you gain 1 memory. Our main tamer of the deck is a Light Fang Nightclaw trait, so if you do promote that in the time that you have tamer, you can get a free extra memory. Ukamon, everyone pretty much knows why Ukamon's good, giving you free consistency every time you promote a Digimon from the raising area. This allows you to get into your non-Light Fang Nightclaw trait Digimon. For the rest of the video, I'm literally just going to say Galaxy Archetype. So Ukamon helps you get into those specific non-archetype Digimon. So that's it for the rookies. Moving on to the champions. We're essentially just all playing the Galaxy traded champions. So we're playing 4 copies of the Firemon, 4 copies of the Lekis, and 4 copies of the Galgamon. So Fire and Lekis essentially do the exact same thing, where they are on play, and when digivolving, you can search the top 3 cards and add both 1 Light Fang and 1 Nightclaw trait Digimon, add them to your hand. They both also let you add a Galaxy trait Digimon, which is essentially Grace Novamon, but we don't play him in the deck. So it's always just those 2 archetypes that we're adding to our hand. The red champions and above give you a 2k boost on your turn as an inherent, and the blues do it on the opponent's turn. The only exception is the Galgamon here, who gives you inherited jamming, which is just nice and generic. His ability though is that when digivolving, both players draw 1 card, and if either you have 3 cards in your evolution sources or your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, you gain 1 additional memory. This is absolutely abusable in this deck, considering we're using our rookies to going up into one of these, and we're using the rookies to take it back down, giving us 2 memory. The summon lets us evolve for 1 less, so we're evolving into our now Galgamon for 1 memory, who then can both players draw 1 card, and since you're going to have a rookie, an egg, and a champion in your sources, you're guaranteed a free extra memory. Essentially, you just evolved into a champion for 0 memory on your turn, which is absolutely phenomenal. And that really allows you to abuse this deck's speedy consistency of climbing up into the stacks when you need to. And essentially, you can even recover from your whole field being wiped clean, if you have something in the back already starting off, even just from a rookie. That's it for the champions. Moving on to the ultimates. We're playing 4 copies of the Crestmon. It's probably my favorite ultimate in the deck, considering it is on play and with digivolving. You can essentially make it so that one of your opponent's Digimon can't suspend until the end of their turn. This allows you to avoid blockers from blocking on your turn, and your opponent's more aggressive cards from actually swinging into you. Again, 2k boost on the inherent for your opponent's turn. But what the ultimates for the Galaxy deck do, along with the Flare one that we're playing, is that if you have a Digimon that is a Light Fang Nightclaw trait Digimon that has 3 or more sources anywhere on the field, you can reduce its on-play and when digivolving cost by 2. Essentially, most of the times these guys are evolving for 1 memory, which is absolutely phenomenal when you're climbing up the stack, which again, if we're going off that play before, you've went into a champion for 0, and now you're going to ultimate for 1. So, it's like, no matter what they put you on, you're climbing up to 5, no matter what you're doing. It's just absolutely phenomenal for this deck. Flaremon is just that on-play when drawing, pops 5,000 less. I wish this was 6,000. I think 5,000 for a level 5 deletion is criminally low. Like he does miss out on a lot of deletes. The only reason we're mostly playing him is that he is the trait that we need to start climbing and building up our stacks. The only other ultimate we're playing is 3 copies of the Honkyumon. This card's absolutely phenomenal, and a lot of people kind of wish for it to get hit on the ban list somewhere. I think he's absolutely fine for what he does. Like, yeah, he's strong, but he's mostly as strong as what he's like building up around. What this card does is from he is EX8. On play when digivolving, you may play 1 level 3 blue from your evolution sources, from any evolution source on your field without paying its cost. The inherent is that you can tuck something on your field underneath that is a blue Digimon, and you can unsuspend when attacking. So what you're essentially doing is that you're using this to split out the Lunar one, and you're building up another stack, and you combo that with a tamer to essentially get into a level 6 for 0 memory. I'll explain that when we get to the tamer. But yeah, Honk Q is absolutely phenomenal. I'd love to play at 4, but like room is a little bit tight, but it can easily be done. Moving on to the Megas, we're playing 1 copy of the Apollomon. Apollomon is the archetypes levels, one of the archetypes level 6. The only reason we're playing it is that because it's a little bit of aggression, as he gets sec +1 for every 3 cards in your evolution sources. He has Blitz as well when digivolving. And if his security is checked, he can pop a Digimon with equal less DP than his own. So we're mostly using him for the quick aggression if we need to, you know, get 2 or 3 swings if needed. And then because he is the Galaxy trait Digimon, we can actually use our rookies to regress him down, and then we can replace him with a new Digimon, or we can use our tamer to do that as well. Our main Megas of the deck though are 3 copies of the Mirage Galgamon and 3 copies of the Hexe. These cards are absolutely phenomenal. I wish Mirage could get hit, but we can only hope and pray. So, as we all know, what Mirage does is that when digivolving, you bounce a level 5 or lower on your opponent's board to the hand. If you don't, you can take one of the top security and put it into the hand instead. All turns once per turn, if a card is added to your opponent's hand, you gain 1 memory for every 4 cards in their hand. Absolutely disgusting card. This card really needs to leave. He's been in the meta for way too long. He is definitely outstayed his welcome, but we play him because, again, he's just a very, very strong Mega. And it's essentially like a floodgate on a level 6 that your opponent has to deal with. And really slows down the consistency of their deck, because now they can't add cards to the hand unless they want a paid attacks dog. The next Mega that we're playing is 3 copies of the Hexe is, I'm really, really enjoying this card. So it's sec +1 and Ice Clad. What Ice Clad is that if he does battle with a Digimon outside of security, instead of comparing DP, he compares evolution sources. So whoever has the most sources wins. Which in this deck, you're going to have like 5-6 sources. So like, unless they're playing an X-Antibody deck or source stripping deck of their own, they're not getting rid of this card. But when digivolving, you strip 4 sources from your opponent's field. Doesn't have to be all in one stack. You can spread out the strips. But if your opponent then has no Digimon with evolution sources, you can bottom deck one of their tamers for free, which is absolutely phenomenal. But on the opponent's turn, if they have Digimon has less sources than you, they can't suspend, which is absolutely like disgusting for your opponent having to deal with. Essentially means they can't attack. But even in some cases, if they're playing a green deck or a deck that needs to do some suspending to use an effect, they can't even do that either. The only other Mega we're playing for the level 6 is 1 copy of the Ryugamon. This card is brand new from BT19. He has Decode level 5. So what Decode is that if this card would leave the battle area, by any means, you can play out a level 5 blue from your evolution sources without paying cost for free. And then so his when digivolving effect is that you may play a level 4 blue or lower from this card's evolution cards without paying cost, and then at the end of your turn once per turn, by returning one of your Digimon to the bottom of the deck, you can turn when your opponent's Digimon with a reserve high or lower level as that Digimon to the bottom of their deck. So this is great spot removal. I wanted to try it out at 1 copy. I did have it at 2 at one point. I kind of like took a list that did well at like an event somewhere that a mate showed to me. And I kind of like wanted to play out with that and see how it goes. I made some small tweaks, and one of them was the Ryugamon. Ryugamon's great. Probably after the event, I'd probably play it at 2. I'd probably drop either Mirage or Hexe. Or I mean, if Mirage gets hit, then definitely we'd be swapping out for the Ryugamon. For the level 7s that we're playing in the deck, I played 2 copies of Paladin Mode Ace for those purple decks, and for the your big OTK plays that you can set up with the Tamer, and 1 copy of Death Hexe Mon. I kind of just wanted to have like a big blow up card that wasn't an option, and I just thought Death Hexe to just, you know, fits that bill. So we're playing the 1 Death Hexe. Moving on to the Tamers, we're playing 4 copies of the best Tamer in the deck, and that is Ko and Sayo. So what Ko and Sayo is that is a mem setter, and what it does is that on play and main, you can suspend this Tamer, take the top card of a stack that is a Light Fang or Nightclaw trait, put it underneath, and then 1 of your Digimon may Digivolve without paying cost. It doesn't have to be the stack that you regressed. So if I had 2 stacks that I then set it up with the Honkumon, I could use the current Sayo, suspend that, take the top card of that stack, put it underneath, and then have the Honku stack Digivolve into level 6 for nothing. This card is absolutely phenomenal, resets up great OTKs with the Paladin mode, and just like this card is nuts. So the Galaxy deck has had a lot of problems with its Tamers, in my opinion, where they just made them too generic. Like, they started off great, needing the traits to begin with, or having the traits somewhere on the field, but then after that, it's just like, do whatever you want. So, like, a lot of people want the Tamers to get hit, and I can understand that, but if anything, I would say don't ban them, just errata them. Like, make it so that no matter what you're doing, it has to be in archetype. So you can regress from non-archetype to then Digivolve into the archetype. If they do that, the deck is fixed. In my opinion, like, they don't need to then touch it. I'm playing 4 copies of the Sun Kaio because that's like your main Tamer. The only other Tamer we're playing is the 2 copies of Digimon Emperor. This just helps slow down those low rookie promote decks, so like all your purple hybrids, at some points your blue and red hybrids, essentially like those kind of decks where like the main aggression is somewhere else, and they're just basically using level 3s for like Ukamons or Gabumon and Agumons to gain additional memory. Digimon Emperor taxes those mixed decks. This also helps in your Lugamon matchup, because now they can't just promote Lugamon, tap the Tamer and start going off without paying 2 memory. The last 2 cards in the deck are just 2 copies of Mental Training. Most of the deck is blue. This does whiff sometimes, where you hit like a Tamer and like a red Digimon or something, but most of the deck is blue, so we can use the Mental Training to get a little bit additional consistency and cost reductions. This card was great coming out security at times, because this is like, cool, I'm not dead yet, cool, well, now I got a free champion or a -2 ultimate mega. But that, guys, is the deck profile and my little experience from the event. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to be putting this deck down for a little while. Now that the big event's over, and I'll be working on the other decks, especially now with LM coming out. There's going to be a lot more Millenniumon testing, and Gallantmon testing once EX6 drops, and that kind of thing. So, you know, like lots of scrambles, options, and new members to try out. Even Omnimon, so expect that at the future as well. But yeah, that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I know the deck can be a little bit confusing, but once you start learning it and playing with it, you'll realize that this little engine here, just from level 3s to 5s, is absolutely insane. You can do a lot with it. I even had a Gammamon package in this deck at some point, and it was a lot of fun, and it actually worked really well. And if you're interested in seeing that profile, I'll definitely profile that as well, because I really did enjoy that spicy mix I had there. Yep, again, thanks all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. Ding that notification bell. Until next time, guys, as always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.